So I'm doing my informative speech over Aileen Wuornos, and then this is a picture. Let me get myself together. Okay, so Aileen was a serial killer who was sexually abused when she was young by her grandfather. Her mother left her and her brother when they were little, so she ended up getting taken care of by her grandparents, and her grandfather ended up sexually abusing her, and then at a young age her and her brother started having sexual relations with each other, and she ended up getting pregnant and put her baby up for adoption. And so this is basically how it all started with her serial killer stuff. She was the first woman serial killer ever. She was a prostitute who worked up and down the Florida highway. She killed at least 7 men that they know of. Their names are Peter Sims, Walter Antonio, Richard Mallory, David Spears, Charles Carksonen, Troy Burress, and Charles Humphreys. She liked middle-aged men and middle to lower class, and they had to be walked. She also would, after she killed them, she would take their money, take their cars, dump them places, and she would sell their items that she stole to people. That's how they ended up catching her, actually. She also had been married once, and then she also had 2 girlfriends. One of them, her name was Tyrena Moore. She was the one that was helping her kill all these men and lure them into places to kill them. She finally got Irene to admit that she killed all the men by herself, and she also, Tyrena Moore also said that Aileen tried to sexually assault her. Her brother had died from cancer when they were younger, and this was found on capitalpunishmentcontext.org. Let's see. She also had a lot of different aliases, so they made it harder for them to track her down later in life. She was 46 when she died of lethal injection in prison, because Florida has the death penalty. Yeah, thanks. She was born in 1956 and died of lethal injection in 2002. She did not graduate high school. The highest grade she got was to 9th grade. Her husband that she had married was Louis Fell, and then after a couple of months, they got the marriage annulled because she kept getting into fights, and she fined for assault and battery, and she'd been in jail quite a few times in their marriage, just in the short period of time that they were married. And then she ended up getting another boyfriend about a year later, and that never went anywhere, and they ended up breaking it off. Aileen was caught by police in Port Orange, Florida. She and her ex-girlfriend were both caught, and then her ex-girlfriend ended up fleeing, and they found her in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, and that's how they ended up getting her confession. She was sentenced to death on January 31st of 1992. She was received at the Brownwood Correctional Institute. 2 months later, she pleaded to no contest to the murders of all of the men that she killed. Then on May 15th of 1992, she was given 3 more death sentences. She was on death row until October 9th of 2002 when she received her lethal injection. So, my sources were, of course, the Capital Punishment, intex.org, and biography.com, and crimesmuseum.org. And that's my speech.